Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another StoryTime Spotlight. For this week's guest, we have none other than Bryce. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you and good to be here for sure.
Yes, it's good to see your beautiful face. The beard's looking nice. I love the chain. You got the drip, my friend. My friend's got the drip.
Just chilling, you know.
I feel it. I feel it. So hopping right into things, where did the name Bryce come from?
So it was funny when I first started like making music. I didn't know what I wanted to do like name wise. Like it's really not something like I'm good at. Like even if like it was coming up with like Xbox names and stuff, I was always like it's Price. Just that was my that's my name too. So it's like my actual legal name. So I ran like with one like name. I don't even want to say what it was because like looking back, I'm just like, good God, everyone has that moment that I feel like when they had like the first name, it just wasn't what they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
But then yeah, once I kind of just started figuring out what avenue I really wanted to go down, I was just kind of like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of be me and myself. And I think the best way to represent that, like my name's already pretty unique. Like my full name is actually pretty different out there. I won't go there just because I don't want to say my full name. But yeah, I just kind of decided to go with my name and kind of run with that. And I kind of enjoyed that I did that because it's still a shocker to most people because I still get asked like, so what's your real name? And I'm like, Price. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's Price. And they're like, oh, okay. So
Yeah, I remember. And for those who are watching, Bryce has also put out a song on Storytime for the first ever book club that we did, his track together with Lynn's, and they put out a track together. And I remember we would I think we were doing a Zoom call, and me and you were talking about it, and I was still shocked that that was your actual name. I was like, is this a spelling error? Or like,
yeah.
is he like really sticking to the name here? Like he doesn't want nobody else to call him anything else?
I know. I definitely feel like that's what people like think too at first. Like, damn, this guy's that guy, like walking around like, oh, my name's only my like DJ name, and I'm like, no, I swear it's like actually my name. Like I don't got like a cool name. So,
I feel you.
like
I
that. So
feel
I
you.
just chose that.
I feel you with that. Trust me. Some people think that my actual name isn't Matt. So I don't know what I look like to people. A
But
Donald, Andrew.
yours is such a good branding too because you got Campbell. So I fucked with
Exactly.
the Campbell soup thing. Like that's it. Like I
All
think
day.
that's super sick. And then it reminds me too of like the thing like Supreme did with like Campbell soup too. Like they had a collab with like Campbell soup or whatever.
Yeah, they sure
like, a
did.
bunch of things. So it's just funny. It's sick. I like it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
I
it.
like it.
So what DAW do you produce on?
So I'm in Ableton now, Ableton 10. I started off in Logic, so like 2017, like end of 2017-ish is when I first started like producing. I started learning in Logic, and then I messed a little bit with Pro Tools, like just because the school I was going to, we were being taught in Logic and Pro Tools, and I can't stand Pro Tools. It's a great DAW, like with all the capabilities, but
Right.
good God, it's terrible on the eyes, and it's so hard to work, like just to learn.
So true. So true.
And I really liked Logic, and then yeah, I just decided. I saw a lot of people. There was a bunch of tutorials I was trying to watch, and everything was in Logic. I mean in Ableton, and I was in Logic.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I need to make this move. So honestly, I cracked it. I went that route and got it on my Mac then, and just kind of that was early last year. So literally February of 2020, I got Ableton, and
Okay.
then I just started like literally spending like hours and hours and hours on it. At first I didn't want to, like when I first got it, I was like, oh God, like I got to relearn a whole DAW, I got to figure this out, and then I bounced a couple projects over like from Logic to it, and then it just kind of started going downhill from there. And then I also, started working with Cashew and having him as a mentor, learned Ableton from there. So yeah, it's been pretty fun just being in Ableton for sure. Now I like it a lot better.
And having Cashew as a mentor, someone to help you out with that is huge. That is
Yeah.
a big thing. Man knows what he's doing in the DAW. That is
Yeah.
that is for sure.
He's crazy.
Sure.
He's crazy, and what surprised me too, like, so he's actually from FL mostly,
Mm-hmm.
and then when like Ableton was doing the free trials and stuff like that, he actually downloaded it too and just started grinding in it too, and he's like, oh, this is like, he enjoyed it just as much, but he's still an FL guy. But yeah, he is a wizard. Like the stuff he showed me, and I'm like, how long have you been working in Ableton? He's like, honestly, only like really even a year-ish or so, and I was like, oh, interesting, you know, and it was like crazy stuff I'd never had seen before. So
And it's
yeah.
wild too, Logic, because it's funny that you brought up Logic, because I remember that's what I started off with too. And I saw that it was what was it, $199 on the App Store compared to what it was with the Ableton. God knows how much Ableton
Yeah,
was at
like
the time.
500, 600
That
something.
was for a light. That wasn't even
Yeah.
like the full thing. I was like 500. And you're kind of looking at it like, 200, 500.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this one.
Well, and then it's funny too, like right after I switched over to Ableton, I saw a video of AC Slater actually in Logic, and I was like, what? No way. Like AC Slater's in Logic, and I was so blown away. And then like I saw a post that he also switched to Ableton, and I was like, okay, you know, like sweet. But I was like so mind blown because Logic is great. It's just, yeah, it's definitely like it has all the same capabilities. Hold on a second, I gotta let my dog out.
No, you're fine. My
That's
dog's
so
over here
sorry.
doing the same thing. And I'm like, calm it down, calm it down.
Relax.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
But anyways, sorry.
You're fine.
But yeah, so no, I was definitely surprised like when I saw that because you don't see a lot of people. And then I also like kind of like Tack and Newlight, I think, was also in Logic for a while, and then I think Keith made the switch over. So it was like weird to see there's a couple of people that like I would never expect to be in Logic or in Logic, you know, but I definitely feel like Ableton's a superior one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had to make the switch as well. So I jumped on ship to that.
Yeah.
So I definitely abandoned Logic ship and got onto the main DAW.
I feel.
So when you're starting off on a blank page, whether it be with a brand new idea in your head or whether you're just starting something new, I mean, yes, I'm sure you work with a template, but what's the first thing you're starting off with when you're starting a new project?
So it's always drums for me. For a while, I was using this template that I had made where it was just like drum group and then a couple bass groups just to get a couple ideas. And then I've definitely become like more organized with my projects now. So I haven't made a new template, and I kind of got away from it because I noticed I kind of like instead of changing out my like samples a lot, I was kind of just doing different things with the same samples and getting different results from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I was kind of running with that for a while, and then I kind of realized I was kind of hitting a wall. So I just started the drums and kind of go from there because drums is my favorite part about it, especially like hats and you know those little back end snares or those little grooves or stuff like that. And then it's only just like once I get the drums, I already kind of have a plan of sounds I want to use. Like I don't really like I guess I wouldn't say like I don't hear ideas. I don't really like have like a drop in mind like, oh, I want to make this. It's more like, oh, I want to use this sound and this sound together and see what I can do, you know. So that's kind of what I'll do, just make my drums first and then, you know, find that first initial sound that I want to use and mess with, and then I just go from there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself doing a lot of four on the floor, or do you kind of switch it up from time to time?
So when I first started making music, I was like making more like bass and kind of like dubstep trap kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And then I started making more house just because I started listening to house more and started liking it more in general. It's like, oh, I really kind of enjoy listening to this more and even producing it, you know, more. So I switched to that. But I mean, lately I've really enjoyed like putting like little trap switch ups within a 4/4, you know, like
Oh
whether
yeah.
it's a drop or like the break, you know, I think it's super fun.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely have seen myself in a lot of house lately, but that's also too, I need to finish a lot of projects. So I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
want to make some different stuff or do some different stuff. But right now I kind of just want to keep like building my catalog up because I do have a lot of, like I said, like ideas, not like, you know, drop wise, but or stuff like that. It's just stuff like sounds that I want to do, things I want to try, you know.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what's some advice you could give to people starting out producing?
Um, Definitely just watch as many tutorials as possible. I think it's important to find like your like little like I guess I would say like group. I guess it's find like your community like in your area. Definitely like see, you know, who's doing what like production wise, and kind of like see someone you can kind of like talk to and learn from. Like those are the two things that helped me like early on was hours and hours of YouTube and tutorials and stuff like that. And then um you know, just asking people like around my area, like, hey, like, do you work on this? Like, what do you work on? Like, what do you do? Like, would you be down and show me this? Something like
Right.
that, you know? And I just did a bunch of just hours of learning on myself and asking people. And honestly, that's the best thing you can do. And it's putting in the work, because, you know, like we hear so many people like, oh, I just don't have the time. And it's like, no one really has the time to
Yeah,
do
no,
this, you know, like
nobody.
especially people like us, you know, that are still trying to, you know, make a name for ourselves and, you know,
Yeah.
make music. So it's like, you know, I work 8 hours a day, and then I have what, another 2 hours of sunlight, and then I got to think about making dinner, what I'm gonna do for dinner. And then I also have a girlfriend, so I have to think about, you know, spending time with her and having a normal life. So it's like, yeah, you got to put in the hours when it, you know, when it really matters. So I think that's something that helped me is early on, like, you know, like in, what was it, like 2017ish when I started in 2018, like those first year and a half or two,
Mhm.
like it was staying up till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then waking up for work again at like 5:30 a.m. and going right back to a, you know, like 9 to 5 job or like a 7 to 4 job, something like that. And then coming right back and just sitting in my dog until, you know, 1 or 2 a.m. There'd be times like I didn't even eat, you know, and it's just like, even like, you don't have to go to that extent. That's just how I was, you know, like I want to just keep working and learning and learning. And then now, like, I've got to the point, like, I'm not saying like I've figured it out, but I've gotten to the point where I found like my groove and what works for me. So like I can kind of, you know, go at my own pace now, and I know what I want to do. And it's not like searching and learning. It's more like figuring out how to get out the ideas I have and how to, you know,
True.
get that going, you know. So I think that's super important is when you're first learning, honestly, go in, whatever works for you, but I would go all in or don't do it at all kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know.
I've learned the sleepless nights start to pay off slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Sucks because we all love sleep, and sometimes we
Yeah.
just want to sit there and either like watch TV or stare at our phones. And like,
Mhm.
if you can just give yourself that time to just accept the fact that you're not going to get sleep tonight or you're going to be up doing something, like it
It's
pays.
worth the reward.
And like
Yeah.
I think of stuff too, like what you were saying, you know, you have a job in the morning, same thing with me, but I've learned, I feel like I get my most done in the nighttime than I do in the daytime. And like,
Yeah.
I do more with the projects and I get more stuff done. So that's why I'm like, you know what, tonight sucks to suck. I'm like, hey, you know, I always live
Yeah.
by the saying, heaven tonight, hell tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's just kind of how it goes. And you just got to
Well,
roll with the punches, but absolutely, you got to give it your all or else you're kind of just setting yourself up for failure.
yeah.
So what would you say are some do's and don'ts that you could give to people, whether it be in the industry or with producing?
Um, Definitely, I'd say for some dues, definitely be yourself. Like that's the one thing I've learned. You know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, one, that get carried away in the copycat syndrome or, you know, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it. And that can be an issue, and that you can kind of like lose who you want to be and like what you want to do. You know,
Yeah.
definitely too. Another do is, like I said, kind of figure out what you want to do and where you want to go. You know, like when it comes to music, when I sat down and realized that I just want to learn how to make music, whether it was I was, yes, some like A-list DJ or producer or not. I just wanted to understand what was going on with the music I was listening to, so I could make it, create it for essentially like myself. And then if people enjoyed it, then awesome. You know, that's great. So I think that's kind of important too, is like figure out why you want to do what you're doing instead of just kind of doing it. You know.
100%.
And then don'ts. I mean, don't. I guess. Um, Other than, I mean, I don't know, like I'm trying to, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I feel like everyone kind of knows, you know, like what not to do.
You'd be
But I guess,
surprised. You would be
yeah, there
surprised.
are some people that don't, you know. I still see those emails, you know. I kind of think about this when
I
people are
still
trying, you know, like, you know, those people make tweets about people sending emails just weird ways, not even introducing yourself, you know, stuff like that. But
Yep.
don't definitely don't do this by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, get, like, if you can, like a little crew group, people behind you that believe in you, whether it's friends, like I said, like a little producer group where you all hype each other up and you guys all tell each other you guys suck on a track that you guys do suck on and how to make it better. You know, like you have to be blunt with each other, but you need those friends too that are also going to hype you up and also be blunt with you, you know. So
So true.
yeah, definitely don't do this crap by yourself, or it's going to be a lonely journey. And
A
then,
supportive circle is a
yeah,
big key to
big
this
key.
industry. Big
Big
key.
key, big key, especially the people I've met in this last year. Like I think about them, like, damn, if I didn't know some of the people just because I can contact them and they feel like the same way I do sometimes and they understand, and then like we'll send each other something and we're like, why are you tripping? Why are you tripping? And we're like, okay, I needed that kind of thing, so
Right.
um
Reality check. You need to reality check. Like, hey, knock it
yeah,
off. This is temporary. You're gonna be
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I guess the don'ts, just don't don't do that, and then I guess don't be by yourself, kind of thing, and then just don't hit up labels or shit, hit people up in the DMs if you don't know them. Honestly, get to introduce yourself and kind of
You gotta build that friendship.
yeah, build that friendship. Don't
You gotta
just
build
shoot
that
your
friendship.
shot because it's not
And
like
what I've learned too that people don't recognize that they do is if you're submitting to a label but you don't even follow the label,
oh, that's the worst. Yeah,
like people don't think that
yeah,
people check that out.
yeah.
We
We
check
do.
that out. We
Yeah,
100% check that out. I
for
mean,
sure. And
show
there's
how
even
supportive you are.
and it's like that's funny you say that too, because there's been times too where like I like have known of the label because I see people release, but yeah, like I just go to the artist like page, and I'll get the track from there and click into it and then go to Beatport. So then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta follow the label, So then like same thing, it's like, all right, I'll follow them, and then like sometimes I'll like wait like a couple of days or like a week, like until I send them something, because it's like, yeah, I've been listening to their music that they put out, but then I just followed them, so I'm like, I kind of feel bad, like I know of
Right.
your music and who you're releasing, so it's like, give me a
I've been
second,
there
like
too. You're not
yeah,
alone. You're not alone.
you're like, ah, shit, but
Uh,
you definitely know of them, so it's like, damn it. But yeah, that's definitely important because they definitely look and check for sure.
that is true. So what are you doing when you're not producing?
Honestly, it's either video games and hanging out with, my girlfriend, or just like my roommate here, or a couple of close friends, sadly, because, we're still in a pandemic and whatnot. So certain things we can do and certain things we don't. I don't, just want to be around a group of people all the time. So there's only certain people I like to be with. But yeah, honestly, it's just video games and chilling. And then I like to ride my dirt bike and BMX bike too. So
Rap,
um,
rap.
yeah, exactly. That's my getaway, and that's nice too, because I think that's something that's super important. Like when making music, is to have hobbies and things that have nothing to do with music. Like they can have like similarities. Like for me, like yeah, I still listen to music when I go dirt biking, and on the way to dirt biking, music's always been there for when I dirt bike. But it's just a sole fact that it's something completely different, and you're kind of, for me, like it's something I can get better at too. And like something I learned in school is like, if you have all these little things that you're constantly kind of leveling up and achieving new things, like personally, it really helps, unlock things in your brain and kind of different motivators, and it definitely helps your mood, like if you think about it, if you're spending your life constantly learning something new and constantly getting better, you're seeing those results, I figure you're probably going to be pretty freaking happy with yourself and pretty happy with life, or
Yeah.
sadly you're going through life and all you have is downfalls, you're not learning anything and just bad things are happening, you know what I mean?
Things
So
happen.
yeah, so it's just like I definitely, push to do stuff that's not, music related. So it's definitely, motocross games, and honestly just sitting here watching movies with my girlfriend, or just chilling.
There you go. Living life the fullest that we can during these hard times.
Yeah, I definitely hope this pandemic ends, because we'd like to go travel. Like we really want to
Right.
go to Hawaii, so that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
and not only that, I mean, I'm seeing a bunch of stuff opening up. I know Vegas nightclubs are opening up here. Like 2 days. Today's the third, opens up the fifth. So nightclubs are opening up here. Day clubs have already been staying open. Shows are coming back. Like it slowly but surely, I feel like things are going back. But
Yeah.
speaking about shows, can you give us some insight on playing the Pod Experience event where you opened up for Ghastly and OK a few weeks back?
Yeah, so that was honestly really cool. I haven't been to a show or anything since, honestly, obviously not counting what I played, but I hadn't been to a show since Decadence 2019, leading into 2020, I believe. We got sick the year 2020 going into 2021, or I think whatever it was. I forget the years, honestly.
Mhm.
But so basically the most recent we didn't go to, so it's been almost a year since I'd been to like a live show at all. And even the ones they've been throwing here, I was just confused on what they were, but I definitely think it's a new way to go with shows. I personally like, I don't know about you, but for shows, like after a while, I want to be like by not by myself, but like in my own area, just vibing like with my crew. You know, it's like nice to be around a bunch of people, but then at the same time, after a while, like, man, I really want to be around a bunch of people, like sweaty, like shoulder to
Straight up.
shoulder. You know, like
Straight up.
you just want to be vibing with your boys or your friends or whoever it is. You know,
Hmm.
so that was a really cool experience of that because one, it was you just literally in like a little like 6x8 area, and it's like got little fences. It's like in an L shape, and it's cool because like you order your food. There's like an thing you like scan or like an app or something. You order your food, drinks, like someone brings it over to you.
Yeah.
The only time you leave your pod is like go to the bathroom. Like it's a full like show setup. Like they had full sound system. They had 2 or 3 um like big screens like for visuals and stuff like that. Like Relentless Beats really did a good job, and it wasn't like a ruckus. Like it wasn't just people like although we're like not following like guidelines. Like no, like everyone was wearing their masks. Like they had security like walking down up and down each row. Like mandating how many people were in your pod because it's like 6 to 8 people allowed in a pod.
Right.
So I personally think it's the way to go if we want to have live experiences, but still, be safe and cautious of all this going on, no matter what your view is on it, or who it is. But I think it is a good way to go. Of course, like I said, it's great to be, shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of people all the times, but I think this could really change the way we do things and kind of stuff like that. I mean, honestly, I don't see the big fuss of like having some shows like a pod show and then some shows like a normal festival when things come back. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I thought it was cool. Like I think it's cool having your own area to hang out with your friends and enjoy the music with your group and
Yeah,
still see
I
everything.
saw the stage setup because your photographer that you always use, he kills it.
Yeah, Tyler's the man.
Yeah, he
Tyler is the
kills it.
man.
Every time I see those pictures come up, I'm like, good Lord. So he kills it. Yeah, for sure. And seeing those pictures, the stage looked sick. Stage looked so
Yeah.
sick. And not only that, not only did I get to see that, I got to see some hear some unreleased music from you. And not only that, you debuted the track that's actually being featured on the chapter 3 of the book club, you and Kalelo's track. And you sent me the video of it when you're on stage, and I'm like watching this video like, damn.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool experience because I've never the only like this is probably been like my second biggest show. The first one was when I got asked to open for Drezzo at Sun Bar, which was really cool. We have this place called Sun Bar, and they have a full PK sound system, and it's like full like warehouse kind of vibes, but it's like they got full lights, the PK system, visuals, like it's the coolest. Like Mala like had a solid show. The night we played for Dresden was sold out, and all the house shows just get wild. But that was my first big one, and this is my second one. And I've never been, on a festival type stage or anything like that. So walking up to it, I was like, whoa, this is such a different experience than, like being in a club or like a bar, just playing on CDJs or, so just
It's
having,
just little old you and these giant
yeah,
3D screens
and
behind you.
well, that, and then you have these two, you have
The
these two
monitors.
stacks of monitors, and it's like 4 of them. So it's like that was so cool. Like I kept asking some of my friends, like one of my good friends is Winston. He goes by Sharps, and then a couple others. And I was like, yo, you guys have played big festivals. Like the only thing I'm really nervous about is like, what's the sound like? Because at Sun Bar, it was in like this warehouse. So when I opened,
Just
everything's like
vibrates everywhere.
yeah, and like it's still filling up, so it's like when it first starts filling up, it sounds super reverby. So like I was so nervous, like the first one, I was like, oh my god, I feel like there's a reverb on, so that's what I was like, what's it gonna sound like this? He's like, honestly, just either one, if you're gonna like use your headphones a lot, then like turn down your like monitors a little bit and then choose your headphones. And he's like, if you not kind of rely on your mixing, yeah, then he's like, just turn up your booth more. And I was like, okay, like I'll ride it out. So honestly, like I did kind of like kind of prepare like the way I wanted to go with my set, just because it was my first big show. I wanted to really present my sound in the way I want to showcase my music correctly. So I had some things planned and whatnot. So I was like, oh man, so nervous. But then I played the first track, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest experience, and then just like seeing like I said, from people walking in and filling in the area was a really cool experience. And like I you know, that was something that I definitely won't forget, because like I said, every time I look back up into the crowd, like it just kept getting more and more people, and I was like, this is really cool, you know.
Yeah, and it's always so funny because playing big shows, it's always that first track. Well, obviously every DJ's fear is going in, plug it in, and the USB
Not
not working. That's
working.
like
Oh, I
everyone,
carry three. I carry
right? Oh
three
yeah, absolutely,
off
absolutely.
three.
But it's always
Three.
after what I've noticed, like these bigger shows, it's always after the first transition. It's like your first song ain't nothing. It's like once you start to get that first transition in, you're like, okay, I'm in my element now. Let me
Yeah, I'm
calm
grooving.
down. Like I got this. I already
Yeah,
went over my set 100 times already mentally in my head. Like I'm gonna
yeah.
kill this, and that's some good shit. That's some good
Well,
shit. Well, I'm glad that you had a great time there. The footage was amazing. The pictures came out beautiful. So shouts out to your photographer. He did an amazing job on that.
shout out
So
T-Rip Visuals.
absolutely, we got to give him that proper shout out. So, what are 3 things you can't go without in a day?
Definitely a gansito. Definitely the best snack in the world. I actually show you it really quick. Give me
Yeah,
one
let's see
second.
it.
I got one in the mini fridge right here. So
Curious, I've never heard of this.
these bad boys right here. These are the way to go, gancitos.
Okay.
These are the best. My dad showed me these when I was younger, and they're the best. They're literally uh
Looks like a jelly filled like Ritz
yes,
cracker.
it's
Is that what it
no,
is?
no, no. It's a filled snack cake. So it's literally chocolate, and so it's basically if you had like a Twinkie, and then you cover it in chocolate, and then with raspberry with the white filling inside. And
Oh
let me tell you,
no.
you put these bad boys in the freezer or the fridge.
I saw you mention something about this on Twitter, and I thought that you were just lying, but no,
Uh,
you're living up to those standards, huh? You're living up to
I,
those standards.
I got a big family pack in the mini fridge in the studio, so you know I'm kind of getting
Family
towards the end.
pack.
Yeah, I
You
got
get
good
one.
towards the
You
end.
get one. You get one.
Hmm.
Everyone gets one. That's good.
Honestly, anytime someone comes over, I'm like, "Have you had a gansita before?" And they're like, "No," and I'm like, "I got you, I got you. Here you
For sure.
go."
Okay. All right. We
But
got that.
that's one, and then probably my dirt bike, and then I'd say probably my dog would be the next one for sure.
Good. Those are good things. Those are
Yeah,
good
those are good things.
So my next question was your go-to snack, but I
Oh,
think that we
I
already.
got multiple snacks, but that is my
Well,
go-to.
I think that's your go-to right there. Okay, so if you could turn any plugin into a person and be friends with them, what plugin would that be and why?
It'd probably be Little Altar Boy. It's just so I could hear all the different voices I can make people sound like, or all the things I can make just like sound like, I guess. Little Altar Boy
Right.
is pretty rad. I just bought that over what is it, Black Friday, and it's been the
Mhm.
best plugin ever. Like you can use it on anything. So I'd say Little Altar Boy.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so if you could sit down with any artist and have a coffee with them, which
Oh my
artist
god.
would it be?
Oh man. Oh man. This one's a really hard one because you know there's like three majors. I would say it's probably Chami, Mala, and Drezzo. I've had
Big
the
names.
opportunity to talk to Drezzo a couple times, so he's super chill. But I would definitely have to say just Chami because I was in his Wax Motif Twitch today, the one where he's guest on Wax Motifs based on Boss today,
Oh
and
yeah.
just hearing him talk about how he goes about production or what he thinks about tracks and how he views tracks and music in general was really refreshing and just like something really cool to hear. So I definitely think it'd be Chami just because that man's got so much knowledge and insight. And it's like when you look at his catalog, like whether it's producing tracks for
Huge.
Lady Gaga or his own album and stuff, it's just unbelievable. So
Big
yeah,
thing.
probably Chami.
Probably charming. There you go. What's something that people do that gets on your nerves?
Oh man. I don't know why, but I guess one thing I've noticed, especially recently, and I'm not saying anything bad, I guess like it's what I've just noticed people like to do here out here, but they like to, be my friend and in public, but then, outside of public, it's kind of a whole different story for some odd reason. So I'm not too sure why or what, because every time we're with each other, it seems like all fine and dandy, but then I hear things outside of that. So that's definitely one that rattles my brain a little bit, makes me a little frustrated.
What I was told, and I forgot who told me this, but I was always told those type of people that you're talking about, technically you wouldn't consider those people your friends. They're
No.
considered acquaintances.
Yeah,
And there's a
exactly.
big difference between that. And like
Yep.
being in the industry, and obviously before COVID, but like going around networking, seeing yourself at shows, you see so many people that, you know, are either trying to get the same show you're trying to be on, or they're the on the event company that you're trying to be a part of, and all these other things. But
Yep.
you know, you guys say this and that, but you know, when push comes to shove, they aren't really like your friend at the end of the day. They're just your
Yeah.
acquaintance. So
Exactly.
that's when you have to draw that thin line, though. You have to know when you're
Yeah.
being used and abused, and you have to know and just to say, hey, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. And
Here's
that's definitely, that can go back to too, like the do's and don'ts, or I guess like things to look out for when you're starting early on is definitely that, is figure out who your friends and your acquaintances are, because it'll definitely save you a lot of stress and
true.
like unnecessary energy.
Yeah. For everyone watching, don't be showing fake love. Don't be
No.
that person, okay? Don't be that person. Little
X.
X, hard X. So would you consider yourself introvert or extrovert?
Um, that one's hard. I think about that one honestly. That's funny. Like that's a question because I think about that kind of myself sometimes. Like I've definitely got introvert tendencies, but then I'm also an extrovert. Like when I know someone, I could talk their ear off, and I know I could probably be annoying to some people, you know. But then
Right.
I'm like, oh, I'm also an introvert where I could also be very happy just sitting right here in my studio and going from working on music to reading comics to playing video games to just sitting here and watching TV. So it's like
True.
I guess I'm a happy medium. I'm in the gray area on that one.
Yeah, and it's so funny because everyone that I ask this question to, no one can give us all an answer. No one can say
No.
they are introvert. No one can say that they are like extrovert. Like there's no like everyone's always dead middle, and I
Yeah.
find that to be like a pretty funny thing if you think about it. Because everyone's like, nah, I don't want to stay home, but like, nah, I also don't want to go out. Like
Yeah.
it's like
That's exactly how, and I definitely, like I said too, when I was younger, like I was always getting in trouble for like talking too much or being disruptive in class, you know. So like I said, I was definitely an extrovert, you know, kind of person where I just was always talking and blah 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 and want to do something and you know whatever it was. But you know now, just like as I got older, I kind of obviously toned down and was like, all right, I can't do that. But like you said, yeah, like I'll go out to a show and I'm like, man, I could be home right now, like sipping a beer and just watching TV or like
just
having a
chilling,
snack, you know.
just chilling.
Exactly.
So for the future, obviously we know that there's new music coming out, but what about new merch? I saw you hinting at some things online. Is this something we're able to talk about for the people, or is this like a closed document with this classified stamp on top?
Yeah, so right now, like we're definitely working on some stuff, on some merch ideas. I've been wanting to for a while. Like I have, you know, some people kind of ask me like, hey, you have any merch and stuff like that. And I have a couple little things. But I'm also picky too, like on my clothes. So I wanna, you know, if I'm gonna make something and put it out for people to buy, you know, because I don't right now I don't like to ask people like, hey, buy this or check this out. You know, it's got my name on it, buy this. You know, it feels weird, you know, still just because I like to just do this because I enjoy it. But yeah, we're working on some merch right now, and I'm really just trying to make it something that I would wear like on the daily. You know, all the stuff I do wear is um, stuff that I enjoy wearing around the house or even going out. It's kind of if I can wear it at the house and go to the store really quick or go out somewhere and not change and I'm chilling, you know. So
Right.
yeah, that's my goal. We're working on that. So definitely by the end of this month, there'll definitely be a place to go and some merch to get for sure.
There we go. I'm super
Yeah.
excited about that. So, just getting to the end of the Storytime Spotlight, is there anything that you would like to promote or anyone you would like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, so I'm definitely would like to promote some music, definitely other than the Storytime release we got coming up. I just released my track No Gimmicks at the end of February. That was my first self-release of the year, so that was kind of something we've been excited about and putting together. It's kind of been a whole story. We're also going to be releasing that. It will be released here soon, actually, like within the next week. The kind of background and kind of story behind the cover art and the song and kind of why I chose the vocals and went down that route. So that'll be coming out soon. And then, yeah, my 40-ounce EP will be coming out on March 26th. That's with my friends Avenue and Fox. I'm really excited about this one. This one's really different. The whole concept behind it is really fun. It's really out there. When everyone sees the cover art, it's definitely going to be a laugh and a this is sick kind of thing, you know? So I'm really excited about that one because Taylor has been awesome Wednesday. I'll definitely give a big shout out to her because she has been like the coolest person I've ever met. And same with Tanner, Dak Daniels as well. They have been the two coolest people that I've met during this whole journey, like since I signed my high track with them.
Hmm.
They've just been so supportive, and when it comes to like things that we want to do for the CP, they've really let us voice our opinions and really worked with us on it. So definitely big shout out to them.
Yes.
Um, Big shout out to Cashew. Like we were talking about earlier, my mentor. That man has helped me tremendously, and if it wasn't for this pandemic, like I probably wouldn't have been able to call him my best friend, because he's
There you
definitely
go.
one of my closer friends. But yeah, just got a bunch of music coming out. This year is a big year for personal growth and kind of really honing in what I want to do. I'm making a couple debuts on some other labels this year, and then returning, of course, to Storytime, which I'm excited about, and then 40 ounce. And then, yeah, just like I said, kind of really focusing on me and what I want to put out, and, the image and kind of vibe we want to, showcase and bring. So, yeah.
There we go. Well, everybody, we do appreciate you staying this long, getting to know Price. I would like to say thank you once again for tuning into the Storytime Spotlight. My name is Matt Campbell, and once again, we have the wonderful, the fantastic Mr. Price. Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.